Hello everybody, I'm Kerin and welcome back to Cooking with Kerin. Okay, so today what we're going to do, we're going to cook a somewhat healthy meal and we're going to use a couple different types of vegetables. This meal won't take long, it doesn't take a lot of ingredients. And you too can get in the kitchen and make this meal, and it'll be a little healthier than eating out at a fast food restaurant. So first, what we have first is carrots. I love carrots, and I'm sure a lot of you all do too. But we're gonna use carrot chips. Also, with the carrot chips, we're gonna use. Let's get this out of here. We're going to use cabbage. I'm going to cut the cabbage up. And we're going to cut it up small, and we're going to mix it with the carrots. So it'll be like a little cabbage carrot medley, so to speak. We're also going to cut up an onion. Cut up an onion small, and you're going to mix the onion in with the carrots and the cabbage. Another vegetable I'm going to make today is going to be asparagus. Okay, everybody, I am back and I have made great progress. I'm going to bring the camera over to kind of give you an idea of what I've done. So first I want to say that I got all my cabbage and carrots and onions cut up in the strainer. I've cleaned everything. Rinsed everything off, so it's just basically still draining. It's getting the counter a little wet, so it's still draining here. The next thing I got going is the asparagus. Now, I have cut off the back ends of the asparagus. This is about how much it is. Now, I noticed that some people like this part of the asparagus. I'm not one of those people, but you can try it. I mean, you may like it. I just don't. I find it to be a little stringy and hard and not really flavorful because this is the end that comes out of the ground of the asparagus. So what I'm going to do with the asparagus, I'm going to put a little the virgin olive oil on here, garlic powder, the pepper, peppercorn pepper, and onion powder. I do want to say that some people, and I picked this up from someone, to cut up a lemon and squeeze lemon juice all over your asparagus, and it gives it a different flavor. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to use a little lemon, and then I'm going to let these sit. These will probably be the last thing that I put on the fire because, like I said before, you don't want to overcook these. You kind of want to put them in with a little garlic. And I don't have fresh garlic today, but any other day I will be using fresh garlic. But you want to marinate these and just let them sit in your seasonings for a little bit because we'll put these on last. So until then, I'm going to put these over here till I get them seasoned up. The chicken is being rinsed off. Always rinse off your meat. Now, I'm sure some of you may have heard the term wash your meat. It doesn't mean with this. Although I've heard people say they've used this now, but I don't use this. This is for my dishes. But what I tend to use to wash my meat, I'll either rinse it in water with some coarse salt, and then not leave it in there, but just rinse it because the salt pulls off the grime off of the chicken. So I tend to use that and then rinse it because you don't want that salt to stay on there. Or you can use apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, let it sit for a little bit and then rinse it off. It pulls off all the slime and greasy stuff that you don't want on your chicken. So you can either use water with coarse salt and or you can use apple cider vinegar. I'm sure you could probably use white vinegar, but because vinegar is acidy, and so it will bring off any excess off the meat. I've seen people, lemon is very good for a lot of different things. Lemons. So when you're in the store, get yourself a bag or two of lemons, because you can use them on a lot of different things as you cook. Lemons, and they're natural. The one thing that I've learned from the old schoolers is it must have seeds. If it does not have seeds, guess what? It's not natural, because if it comes out the ground, it should have seeds in it, not GMO product. So we unfortunately deal with GMO and a lot of different things, but if you can stay away from it, stay away from it. So you can cut up lemon and squeeze lemon juice into your chicken and let it sit and then rinse it. So those are the 3 things you can use to wash your meat or clean your meat. Lemons, the coarse salt, and apple cider vinegar, or maybe even white vinegar. So while that's sitting and waiting, I'm going to go ahead and get the cabbage, carrots, and onions on. Okay, sorry y'all. I'm going to get better with this camera. Okay, so basically what I got up here is a pan. I'm going to use, it's a pretty big pan, and I'm going to just put all my mixture from the strainer into it. Just like that, and I'm going to probably put the fire on medium. I'll put it on medium. And now sometimes I do use gloves, and it just depends. If I got people in the kitchen with me, I'll have everybody use gloves and kind of use mittens and the mask, I should say. But since I'm here by myself, I've washed my hands many, many times. Make sure you wash your hands, especially now that we're dealing with coronavirus. I wash my hands so much, they are just, between that and the hand sanitizer, they are just dry. But I know they're clean and I know they're sanitized. So make sure yours are too. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to season the cabbage and the carrots. I'm going to season everything up. We're going to use our peppercorn pepper. And I'm going to use some onion powder. I'm going to put that all over. And then what I like to do, I always like to use bottled water. I pretty much use bottled water for everything. So instead of the tap water, after the seasonings, I'm going to pour this water over top so the seasonings can fall down in there on the bottom side. It's almost like rinsing the seasonings to the bottom with this water. So that would be one. The other, I'm going to put, another thing what I like to use, and I don't have any of that as well, but I like to use like a broth, like a chicken broth. If you use a chicken broth in your cabbage, it kind of gives it another flavor. So I use and I always try to use as little sodium, less sodium, because you don't want a lot of salt in your food. So I tend to use sodium free or little sodium in some of the products that I buy. Also in this cabbage, I'm going to put in a little butter. It tends to give it a little flavor too. So I'll put in like little slices all around the pot here. Now, you see that this is a lot in this pot. But what you'll find is as this cooks, it cooks down. And I will show you that once the cooking process starts. So you can start off with it kind of overflowing in the pot or the pan. But during the cooking process, it will definitely shrink down. Cabbage shrinks down quite a bit. If you have a big family, you may want to even considering buying 2 heads of cabbage, because cabbage shrinks down. You will not have as much as you start off with. So just keep that in mind. And so what I'm going to do now is go another round of the seasoning since I've rinsed that down. I'll use the onion powder, garlic powder, and once again, pepper. Another thing you may try if you like is pepper rings. You can either do the hot, depending on your specific taste. You can do the hot pepper rings or the mild pepper rings. And you can even utilize a little of the juice. I wouldn't do a lot because it has salt in it. So you may not want to overdo that with that because it does have salt in that juice. So sometimes you can use the salt. You don't want to use as much salt, I should say, because that again is sodium, and the peppers, pickles, those type of things. Check the sodium on the packet on the back of those containers, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, my doctor told me that I don't want to exceed over 2,000 milligrams of sodium in a day. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the back of the items that you buy. So with that being said, I'm going to do a little bit more water on here. Just a tad bit. And then I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to cover this up, and then what I'm going to do is rinse off the meat and get it seasoned. And I will bring you all back once the cabbage get to cooking. Stay tuned. Okay, everybody, as you can see, my cabbage, carrots, and onions have cooked down. You recall that being over top of this pan. But now, and that hasn't taken very long, maybe 10 minutes at the most, you know. And it's still cooking. It's still not finished, but it has cooked down quite a bit. So, as you can see, it is definitely getting soft. It's getting about to where you want it. And you can determine your own consistency. Like, you may not want your cabbage as soft as others. Others may want theirs, you know, not as soft. But I kind of like mine in between. It's not quite there yet, but it is definitely getting there. So what I can actually do is I have the stove on that a little less than medium. I'm going to probably put that on like 3 and just let that simmer on out, okay? And that'll finish off the cooking process for the cabbage. So now what I'm getting ready to do, I'm over here and I'm preparing my pan to toss my asparagus in. So I'm going to toss the asparagus in here. I'm heating that pan up. So when I get ready to drop it in there, you get that little sizzle sound. That's how you want it. You kind of want the sizzle because you're going to also want to toss it as it's sizzling. Again, you don't want to cook your asparagus very long. And that's why I'm kind of waiting and getting all the rest of my items together. Over here, you'll notice that I have cleaned and seasoned up the chicken tenderloins. They are seasoned as I preheat the oven. So here shortly, I'm going to throw these in. They shouldn't take very long. I'm not going to cover them. I coated this pan with some of the olive oil. Again, I use olive oil for quite a bit of things, but if nothing else, coat your pans with the olive oil. So it's seasoned with garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, lemon pepper, and I squoze a little onion over, lemon. I squoze lemon juice over top of this. So that'll give that lemon pepper flavor. So as that's waiting for the oven to preheat, I got my oven set for this for 375, and I'm going to put this in the oven uncovered. And what I'll have to do, like every 10 minutes or so, I'm going to flip the chicken just so it's cooking evenly on all the way through. So you all stay tuned. Okay, everyone, I'm back, and before we get the meal plated and all, as I told you before, I normally do my asparagus last. Here is the seasoned asparagus. I have seasoned this with pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, some lemon pepper, and it's been sitting in olive oil and lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. Squeeze that from a fresh lemon. And that way it gives it a little flavor. I got the skillet here. It's pretty hot. Right here it's sizzling, so it's about ready. So I'm going to start off just laying these in here. Now, one thing that I normally do is cook a little fresh garlic in this olive oil as the skillet gets warm. I don't have any fresh garlic at the moment, but I will be picking some up because I like to use that for other dishes. So basically what I'm doing is laying the asparagus in here, and you don't want to bunch it up. You kind of want it to stay single layered. And as this heats up a little more, because you can hear it sizzling, so it's pretty warm. But the seasoning you have here in your dish afterwards, all that is extra seasoning with your lemon juice and your olive oil. So as the skillet warms more, you're going to actually drizzle this over top of your asparagus. Because like I said, you kind of want this asparagus to get some flavoring. Because a lot of times it's bland. It's not really flavorful. And you don't tend not to eat it. But it is definitely good for you. It is one of our natural, healthy eating vegetables. So definitely pick you up some asparagus at your local grocery store. And as that begins to simmer, I'm going to let that just go on and do its thing before I turn it. And it is definitely one of the last things that I will be cooking with this meal. The chicken is in the oven. It is definitely preparing. The cabbage, I'll let you take a quick peek at that again, because as I've told you before, the cabbage cooks down quite a bit. And as you can see, it has definitely gotten soft. And it is pretty much going to be done here soon. Okay, everybody, I am back, and it has definitely been a fun-filled hour or so. I have come to the end of this healthy, delicious meal, which is cabbage, carrots, onions, and asparagus along with baked chicken. So I'm trying to do some healthy meals included with some of the meals that you'll see me preparing. And with this one, it was pretty easy. Anyone can do this, young folks included. Get you a head of cabbage from the grocery store, a pack of carrots, whether you like the wedge carrots or the whole carrots, and get you a bag of onions, because you'll notice that you'll use onions for a lot of things. So you'll cut up, I used just a half an onion on that cabbage. I didn't have a whole lot of cabbage. It actually was a smaller head, so I only used a half an onion in that. If you have a large family, consider getting 2 heads of cabbage, because as I showed you in the video, the cabbage cooks down. So consider getting 2 if your family is large. That there will be enough for my husband and myself. The asparagus you can get in the bundles. 1 bundle is enough for my husband and myself. If you have a larger family, you may consider getting 2 bundles, and then you may start off with 1 to even see if your family likes asparagus. You may have never tried it, but you can try that, and it may be something that your family loves. So I would definitely maybe start off with 1. So with all that, I am definitely about to wrap it up. I'm going to plate the meal. I'm going to show you what it turned out to be. I'll give you my honest opinion on the flavoring, and I'll get back with you all. So if you have not, please subscribe to the channel, as I will be putting out more videos of good cooking meals in your own kitchen. And share the video. Always hit the bell so you can see when I upload a new video. It may be a meal you could use for that specific day. So stay tuned for the plated meal. It is definitely coming up. I've had a lot of fun making this. And you all stay tuned. This cabbage is so tender. And then the carrots. The carrots are just as tender. Oh, yeah. That is delicious. Now, anyone can prepare this meal. Guys, girls, young, old. Guys, you can prepare this for your lady friend, and she will love you. If she don't already. But, this is really good. And what I've done, I've added a little Mrs. Dash over top of stuff, because like I say, I don't want to use a lot of salt. And you can choose, but I wouldn't recommend salt. But the cabbage and the carrots is delicious. The chicken is tender. That's good. You guys have to try this. If you're not doing nothing on a Saturday night or Friday night after work is complete, get these few ingredients and you will have a healthy meal. So as I finish this up, before Victor gets home, you all subscribe, like, and share the channel. I have more fun meals coming. You can learn something. You can pass on some knowledge. And also, if you have some knowledge, put it in the comment section, and I'll check it out and perhaps try one of your meals. So I'm going to finish this up. I don't want to chew in you all's face, but I do want to finish up this meal and the video. So if you have not, please subscribe to the channel. I am Kerin with Cooking with Kerin, and you all have a great day.